Hello, my friends. I'm going to mention Bottle Top Bandit and his sharp eyes because he noticed 1987. So maybe that's when this particular bill was printed. Now, moving along, went somewhere today, found a couple poker chips, and here for too much longer, we are all going to be voting. These have neat train engines on them. You're going to vote for the blue party or the red party. Or if you want to, go for the third option and vote independent or libertarian or whatever, or write in someone's name. But I like poker chips, and these are kind of neat looking. Anyway, let's move on to the next little thing. So, I go to my coin dealer, and he has this, the $15 coin. This one is the Mohawk Steelworkers, or Ironworkers, 2015 set, 1P, 1D. Still in the mint pack. It's cut out of the mint set, but still. They're not terribly valuable, even like this. Alright, so the other thing I just mentioned, and the title, complete the set. So, my buddy Ontario 100 had a $50. This particular year with the Rays coming out from behind the Eagle. I have a $quarter here. This one is a pretty high mintage, about 15 million maybe, somewhere around there. So he had a $50, and I did not. But today, 1853 of Farrell's, I was able to get one. And this one's not in real bad shape. It's about 3.5 million more minted. Interesting. So I complete my set of the 1853 arrows in Rays. Quarter and $50. Now, moving along to another topic. The question of silver under melt. This wasn't quite under melt. It's 2 quarters and 4 dimes. But it wasn't real high either. But you can get a lot of this kind of stuff oftentimes pretty cheap. That's the kind of stuff you can usually get around melt. My other buddy, addicted to minis, had one of these, except it was the one kind of neat. I do like it. It's 10 grams of 90% silver. And it also has rays around its design, which off the star. It's a real cool coin. I'd like to get the 1 peso one. But so far I do not have any access. Now, you watched last night's thing. I talked about this CD I just got. It's a little bit collectible. And on this cover, I'm going to open it up this way. This is a painting. And on that horse is their king. King Gustav II Adolphus. And he got shot in the back and died in that battle. That was during the Swedish Empire, early on. A few kings later, King Carolus Rex, as they called him, a young king, would be killed, shot in the head and they're not. They weren't sure who actually shot him, whether it was his own men or otherwise. Anyway, this particular band only did 3 albums, and they sing most of their songs in Swedish. However, they did record this Mount Everest, about the mountain Mount Everest, in English. So you can find that. Now, no one guessed how much. No one guessed how much they thought I paid for this. $1, 1851 gold coin. Yes, Bottle Top Bandit. I didn't notice on this when I was looking at these, because the 87 over here is in this pattern, and I thought it was just like that, just a pattern. I didn't even notice it said 87. So you got sharp eyes, buddy. Now, moving along to a different question, because addicted to minis, and while you're here, I did finally found me one of these half dollars with the arrows and rays on it. It's 1853. It's a neat design. I like it because I had the quarter for a while. Same back design, pretty much $quarter. But addicted to minis, talking about buying stuff under milk. And so he's talking about dollar cost averaging. He put DCA in the comment on the Kansas Kids thing. He was talking about, and I didn't realize what he's talking about, and I just said, what, don't care attitude? Well, if you're buying coins like these, the only thing you want for these is for these to be cheap. When I bought them, they were $8.50. I believe it was quite a bit under melt. These are both beat up real bad. Now this, there's no doubt, because these were 65 cents a piece when I bought them back in the spring. And that one has got a massive hole drilled in it. But that's stuff you can get under melt all the time. And 40% Kennedys usually are too. But he was pulling out some of the coins from his collection and showing dimes that he had where the price was real low. Now, when I bought this, 1935, $1.35. I don't know what the price of silver was that day, but this is probably about the going rate then. Now they're about $2.40. If they're in a card, you might have to pay $2.50 for one like this. But $1.35, well under melt at today's prices, but not when I bought it. But still, that's what he was showing. And here's one that was $1.60, and it's got pretty good details left on it. It's worn, but it's not horrible. And then here's the 23S that was $1.50 when I bought it. So yeah, when it comes to dollar cost averaging, though, in my opinion, you got to be buying the same amount of silver, dollars wise, every week. Otherwise, you're not really dollar cost averaging. Think of it like your 401k. Every week or every 2 weeks or once a month, however often your company deposits your money into your system. And if you work the same hours, you're putting the same amount in every week. This was $1.75, 1918S. So in order to call it dollar cost averaging on that, we'll show a few more dimes. And this one really takes kind of the cake, $1.25. It is a 64 though, and they're common as dirt. And this one's got a little bit of dirt on it. That uncirculated 57 only cost me $1.75. And in reality, there's not very much love for these. And it may not actually, it might only be AU, but that doesn't matter really. There's no love for these Roosevelts. They don't. They made so many of them. It's almost impossible to find, you know, a cheap one. I'm not cheap, but one that would be worth a lot. And this one's nicked up a little or something, but $1.40. Definitely under melt today. Now, same thing about quarters and half dollars. I did tell him that I could find quarters that I paid like $3 or 3.25 or 3.75 like this. This one's a proof. Cost me only $3.50. It's 59. It does look like someone's done something to it, getting it out of the package. Because these were, I think, mainly in proof sets. I don't think they made individual ones to be put out and sold as an individual coin like this. Yeah, that's a proof. This one was $3.75, which is a little more. And it's a 62 and it says uncirculated, and if there's wear on it, it's not much. You see feathers on the chest of the eagle. It's not bad. But here's a 64 that was 3.25, and it also looks uncirculated. A few scratches, but nothing major. I have a feeling a lot of this silver coins went out of circulation really fast after they changed to copper nickel. Now, I did say half dollars for like $6.50, $6.75. Well, this one's kind of drab in terms of its look, but details, it's not too bad because it's worn a little, but not a lot. They wrote Very Fine Plus, which I don't know. It's a Denver Mint one. It's just drab looking. If you dipped it, it might look better, but this one's got dirty, parts in it. And I think this got dirty, and this is just back when people were carrying them, and it wore off some of the higher points, and while the back was dirty and toned some. That's a San Francisco Mint one. And then this one says, someone wrote Big 7 there, and then 7 there. This is extra fine, but $7. Got a little bit of a toned dirt mark or something there. 43. And this is a Philadelphia one. I quite like this Walker design. You can see some of the feathers are worn away on the chest of the bird here, down its leg, the higher points of the coin. But it's not bad. But in terms to the don't care, the don't care attitude, that's kind of what this is. Don't care that it's drilled. Don't care that it's dark and drab. All I care about is that there's 11 of them in this. At 65 cents a piece. I paid is that 45? I think that's 7.45, or maybe it's 7.15. Whichever. At 65 cents at the time I bought this, I think the melt on these is about $1.30, $1.40. But yeah, this is the don't care attitude. And this is also the don't care attitude. Because it's 4.25. Right now, melt on these is value is over $5 last I checked this morning. Unless silver's done something. I don't think the market's open right now, so it probably hasn't. But yeah, and this is for addicted to minis to take a look at. I told him I had at least one of these. And this is, I might have said 50 earlier, but it's not 50. I think that means 40. and it's $19.15. It is 90%, and it's 10 grams. Our half dollars, like these, started out at 12 and a half, and they're a little bit bigger around than this is, so that's what you got. But oh, and one other thing, that CD, it was a used one, or previously owned, and the seller stuck this between, opened it up and stuck it on the inside to help hold the CD in place so it wouldn't fall or come loose and get scratched up in the package. But yeah, this is also the don't care stuff, don't care attitude. These are well circulated. The two Roosevelts aren't really circulated very much, but as I said, Roosevelt dimes get no love. That one's a 52, and I think this one is a 48. But that's pretty much what I got for this. I do hope that everyone has a good night. And I was surprised by finding this today. It does complete the set. At least one each of these. There's a couple other mints. These are both Philadelphia coins. There's Orleans Mint. And I'm trying to remember. I think that might be all they made in these. Was Orleans and Philadelphia. But the red book's over there, and this is not real high mintage, but they made a lot of the quarter, so you should be able to find it easy if you want the quarter. But somebody take a guess. No one has guessed what I paid for this yet, and there might be a viewer or two out there that might know what I paid for it, because I got a couple people from the local area that subscribe to my channel, and they go to the same dealer I go. Now I go to other dealers too. The one, Rockville, and there's a guy who's a jeweler who sells a lot of this too. In fact, that's where I got these from. And there was a different coin dealer in town I used to buy from a lot, but he's no longer with us, unfortunately. But anyway, Bottle Top Bandit, thanks for stopping by. And it's pretty much about all I got for this. I hope that everyone has a good night, and we'll see you next time. Oh, God, it's hot. God, it's hot.